Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching
Fanboy.
Fanboy,
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
Every once in a while, you get to have fun in a couple of minutes with a pre-interview, and today was no exception. One of the co-stars of the Netflix thriller drama series Echoes, Alise Willis, how are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. You've done so much just within the last couple of years. Echo is now available Friday, August 19th on Netflix. You've been on BET's Ruthless, Coming to America 2. There's so much going on. You got to work with Eddie Murphy, so I'm a little jealous of that.
Listen, it has been a roller coaster these last couple years. It felt like nothing for years, and then it hit, and then it's kind of like snowballed ever since. So I'm grateful. I'm so grateful.
That's that overnight success that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, that 10-year overnight success.
Yeah.
10 years, nothing, and then the last 6 months, everything.
But hey, that's how it works, and that's what makes it, and that's the important thing.
Yeah. Listen, if I would have been at this point at the start of my career, I would not have been ready for it. So I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and timing is everything.
Well, your timing was impeccable with this one.
Yeah.
So take us through the series itself. We're on Netflix. We're sitting there. We're working this Coming to America, so much more. That 10-year overnight success where everything hits at once. How do you go from that whole is it ever going to happen to, oh my God, I have a good problem, where I'm working constantly?
It's just about persistence and dedication. Never giving up, constantly hitting the pavement. I was in New York for almost 10 years before I moved to Los Angeles. So I think just bringing that, that grind from New York over to the West Coast has helped me tremendously, because it's an industry where you definitely need thick skin. You hear no way more than you hear yes. But then when you get the yeses, it makes it that much more satisfying because of all of the years of hard work and dedication that you put into it.
Well, I'm glad that it's working for you, because this is absolutely great. You're keeping busy, you're doing something right, and that's what we like to see.
Constantly staying in class is like my number one, I would say, like, tool as an actor, like just constantly growing, studying different techniques. How can I be better? How can I go deeper into the work? That has allowed me to secure these roles.
So the more important thing is in securing these roles, you start off in a small town in Illinois, work your way east to New York, and then work your way west to California, which we have better weather. Sorry, New Yorkers, deal with it.
Oh yeah.
What's that like? And then going home, because you sit there in a smaller town, you're not in Chicago, you're in Illinois though.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to become an actress. I'm going to become a model. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And then you sign with Ford Modeling Agency. They're like, okay, she made it as a model. Great. I'm going to become an actress. Yeah, whatever. And then you get some off-Broadway show. Okay. And then they see you on TV. Does it become those people that doubted you at first go, I went to school with her, she was so awesome when we were kids?
Well, you know how it is. The one thing about my hometown is the support and the love is real. And when it came to modeling and acting, I had no idea that it was even attainable for me. It was always something that was out of reach. And so to be able to, start a career as a model, and then to cross over into acting, it was kind of like, is this real? Is this something that I could really do? But starting off as a model, I think that it definitely prepared me for the world of acting, having the thick skin to walk away from projects that aren't mine, and being okay with, what's for me is for me, and what's not for me, then to let it go. Going back home is always so important and necessary for me because it grounds me. Okay, going back to I'm from Joliet, Illinois, and that's 45 minutes south of Chicago. So yeah, we got the city there, but like you said, it's a small town. And just all of my family and a lot of my friends are still there. So just going home, it just kind of like gives me that it refuels me to get back out here and face this crazy industry.
Let's be honest, it's basically, all right, Miss TV star, that's great, go put the dishes away.
Exactly. There's none of that when I go home. When I go see Granny, listen, like it's back in 1996, 97, you know, being the little ashy kid from around the way. And I like that. I like to be able to go home and to just be normal, you know. It's like I don't have to live up to this idea of like, you know, being an actor, or no, I can just like, you know, let my hair down and put on some sweats and no makeup and just be. And like I said, the love that I get from the people in my hometown, they are super supportive and they want to see me win. And so that helps a lot.
Yeah, and then working with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall doesn't hurt either.
Well, you know, that was my first movie, and you know, the first coming to America. I mean, I was a baby when it came out, but like, it's such a classic, and it's still one of my favorite movies. So to be able to be a part of the second one, and then to play such an iconic role as the Royal Bather was like, it was like a dream come true.
And now that led to Ruthlessness on BET, which led to Echoes on Netflix.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because once one door open, it's like you're standing there, you're kicking the doors down, and nothing happens. And then once one door open, then you just get a slew of opportunities, and I'm grateful for that because you know, it takes one person to see you for everyone else to kind of like take notice. And that one person was really Tyler Perry to give me a series regular role. That was, I mean, he took a chance on me, and being on his sets where you get one take and you just gotta come with your A game. His sets are called like the boot camp of all actor sets, because once you do his set, then once you go to any other set, you're fine. You're off to the races. But he definitely took notice, and he's the one that kind of got the ball rolling for me. So super grateful.
Right. And you're like, oh, Tyler Perry, I'm going to work on a Medea movie. And then all of a sudden, nope, Ruthless, I'm escaping a sex cult. And I'm like, oh, this is a heavy one.
So I auditioned for Ruthless twice. And the first time I auditioned for it, I thought it was, like you say, like Medea. So it was such a light, fun type of like the energy of it was just like light and fun, right? And then I didn't book it. And then I got the audition again, and I'm like, I just auditioned for this. I almost turned it down, and I'm so glad I did it. Something told me like, okay, let's be a good actor, Alise. Let's watch the show, because the show was already out. And I always do my due diligence and like, you know, research the directors, producers, writers, watch the show. But because I thought I knew Tyler Perry, I was like, oh, I got this. So when I got the second audition, I actually watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, there we go. This is not like the light and fun Tyler Perry that we know. It's very heavy drama for your mama, and emotional work. So, but I'm so grateful for that, because I love that type of work, and it has definitely stretched me as an actor, you know, as far as what I can do now because of that show.
See, you checked your ego, and then all of a sudden it worked out for you.
Oh yeah, always check that ego.
Just remember what Grandma said.
Listen, okay, check the ego. And that's one thing about like Tyler sets that I love, that it's, you know, it's a family. you walk into it and you just feel like welcomed and wanted. There's no ego on sets. It's just family vibe. And I mean, just learned so much from his sets.
And then with Echo, you're dealing with a series where these two sisters have been essentially playing tricks on society, going back and forth. These twin sisters, on their husbands, on their school teachers, all the way back. And now one of them goes missing, and then wait a minute, who's really who? And how do you know which person is really which person at this point?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like even some of the characters on the show, like, we're completely in the dark, just like the audience will be. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be one of the fun aspects of the show. It's like what you think is going to happen may not happen. There's lots of twists and turns.
The cool thing about Netflix, I would say, for an actor and an actress, is that the show gets released all at once, so you get instant reaction to 10 to 20 episodes or however long the series is running for.
This is limited series, 7.
Limited series. Okay, so 3 to 4 episodes in this one, I believe.
7
episodes. So you have 7 episodes, but everyone's going to power watch through, and you get the reaction of all 7 episodes at once. With weekly television, you sit there and you wait week by week to see if people liked you in episode 4, if they didn't like you again in episode 7, if they didn't like you again in episode 14, or whatever it is. Is it that delayed gratification and then instant response that is harder, or is it the week to week aspect that's harder?
I think the week to week aspect is probably harder, because you got a whole week to let the fans sit and simmer on what just happened, versus, you just knocking out the whole series and being able to, to judge it by the whole series. You got to wait week for week. And so I know with Ruthless, my character, she's a very strong woman, but, some of her choices are not as likable. And I can relate as, Alise, because I understand why she's doing some of the things that she's doing. And also, like, I have the overview of what's going on. And the fans, they don't get to see that. So one week they love her, and then the next week they hate her. I'm with Echoes, the fact that everything drops at once, I think it just gives it that much more of a, people are going to want to binge it. They're going to want to just watch it straight through, because it's one of those shows where you're going to be on the edge of your seat.
Well, I'm thrilled for everything that's going right for you. That's the important thing.
Well, thank you. I am too. I'm so grateful.
Well, I should hope you're grateful for it. If you just sit there like, it's Tuesday, who cares? Then we're like, wait a minute.
It's been a journey, and if I look back over like the last few years to see where I am now, I just get excited to look toward the future to see like what's to come, because I just the stretching and the growing that I have done as an artist, and to look back the last 6 months, 2 years. There's always a point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so much better than that. Oh my God, I'm so much better than that. So to just be constantly growing in my craft and enjoying it, and still being full of passion and excitement, it's a great feeling.
Okay. So then we have to ask you this. Harrison Ford, when the 20th anniversary of Star Wars came out, they asked him if he was going to see it. And he was like, no, I don't want to see 20-year-old acting. And you go back only 2 years with your acting. Are you going to be 20 years from now sitting there and go, I don't want to see 20-year-old acting? Or do you want to take a look and see how you've evolved as a performer?
I think if I know myself well enough, I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to watch it, because I don't get the actors that don't. And for me, when I watch myself, I don't watch it as an audience member. I watch it to critique myself, to say, oh, that was connected. Oh, that was a little forced, or that was pushed, or wow, that was beautiful. I think that it helps me. It's funny because I save all of my auditions now that we have to do self tapes. We don't go into the room, we tape them at home. And so I save them all on like a big hard drive. And just looking at some of my auditions for over the a few years ago. I'm like, yeah, that was good. Oh wow, that was a little. So I'll probably be watching myself.
And then one day you're like, what's wrong with my hair in this one? How come my
I know
eyebrows
I got
look
that
this
hair
way?
sticking up right there. Like nothing about my craft, just about like pieces of hair out of out of place.
It's all aesthetics at that point.
Exactly.
So what, with everything going right now for you, you're on the way up, you have an upwards trajectory. Do you want to branch out into voice acting? Do you want to branch out into music, writing, producing, etc.?
I always hear like, oh, you should be a voice actor. It's not really something that I want to do. I definitely want to do, I have some projects that I want to bring to life. Writing isn't my strong suit, but definitely producing, creating, and just going deeper into acting, which is like my number one love. Doing different roles. I want to do more comedy. Definitely want to dive more into film, and just maybe play a superhero. Marvel, DC.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
Well, since you want to become a producer at this point or in the future, what's
Mhm.
one project that you're like, grandma will be proud to see me in and making, and another one's like, grandma, this one's not for you?
Ooh, I don't think any of my projects are for grandma, to be honest. I like the things that I want to bring to life. They're kind of dark and deep and some just not anything that I would be excited to show her. But with that being said, maybe some comedy stuff, because even now with like Ruthless and well, she may be able to watch Echoes, but Ruthless, I mean, one of my grandmothers she'll be 85 in October and the other just turned 99. Like, I can't show them Ruthless. It's just, it's no. So,
Listen, at 99, she's seen more than you can imagine. So.
Exactly. But she sees me with this halo on my head, and I'm the granddaughter that can do no wrong. So, yeah, there are some things that I want to be able to show her on the big screen without like having to chop it and edit it up.
So what you're saying is you're the baby.
I am not the baby, but I'm kind of like the baby. I'm one of the favorites, and my brother is actually the baby, and then it's me. So I'm like, I come in second, but I'm the baby girl.
It was going to be one or the other. So it's usually the oldest or it's the youngest. So
yeah, I love it.
Like the Wayne's family, it's either Keenan or Marlon that's the favorite. So.
Right? But they have that whole family that's locked down, which I'm like, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
So any of your cousins or siblings, well, you said your brother, want to get into the business? They're like, you know what? I'm just going to go become a software engineer and
My brother's an engineer. Nope. I'm the only crazy person that would take on a career that you may not ever work or may not ever make a dollar from. And it's all about, timing and being at the right place and, all of these other things that's added onto it that may not be your talent. But I have a couple nieces that are super beautiful and just in front of the camera, they just thrive. So I think that I got some competition coming up.
Well, keep it in the family and make sure that it's this, lineage and legacy that's going forward without them trying to take your spot.
Oh, I would love that, because I look at some actors that have, family that has done it before them. And I'm like, oh, what a beautiful blessing to have. And if I'm able to reach back and pull someone up, especially my family, that'll be wonderful. But that is one of my goals, is because growing up, I really didn't, I didn't know it was attainable. Like I said, I didn't know it was possible. It was so far out of my reach that it was just like, that's TV. So to be able to let like little girls know, like, you can do this. If I can do it, coming from Joliet, Illinois, where like, you know, for some people they say like all hope is lost, then anyone can do it. It's true.
Well, apparently hope wasn't lost on you.
Nope.
I mentioned the Wayans brothers and, you know, and their sister Kim, and how they kept it within the family, and now there's the next generation of Wayans coming up. Melvin Van Peebles did that for Mario Van Peebles, and now his son Melvin is also acting. Have you talked to any of the lineage families out there just to get an idea if you wanted to bring your nieces up with you?
You know, I haven't, but that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. I haven't. I just kind of, I see the way that, like, I know Jamie Foxx's daughter, she's doing really well now. And I just kind of, I see the way that the current turns, and I just try to keep note of that and pass it on. But I haven't talked to anyone, no.
You know, we're planting ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
As things continue to progress and grow for you, is it at the moment, what's the next project? Because work keeps coming. Like at some point you have to start turning things down. You can't say yes to everything. You know, are you still at that point where you're saying yes to everything because it's finally the momentum is coming? Or are you allowed to be a little more selective at this point?
You know, I turned down an offer. I did turn down an offer because it was not in the direction that I want to go in. And I do feel like you can't say yes to everything. Like, you have to set some standards for yourself. And so I'm not at the point of my career where I'm just getting all of these offers pouring in and I'm able to like pick and choose yes, yes, no. But I am at the point where I do have a say so, and I don't have to just jump at everything. So like, I have an idea of where I see myself going, and my team, we're all on the same page. And so if that doesn't line up, it's very easy, I think, to get stuck in a certain category, especially with certain type of roles. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing what I love, because if it's not what I want to do, what's the point? You know, of course we want to make money and we got to pay our bills, but like, if I'm going to work every day and I'm dreading it or I hate it, no, it's a lose-lose. I want to be excited to get out of bed and still have that passion and you know, that determination that like keeps it going.
And you also don't want the work to suffer.
Exactly. And I don't want to suffer. I don't want to suffer. That's the main thing.
Well, we don't want you to suffer either, because, you know, we've seen some of the modeling photos. Those shoes enough are suffering enough.
Oh, you have no idea. I've gotten sizes, like 2 sizes too small. I don't know if you've worn a shoe that was 2 sizes too small, and a 6-inch stiletto walking down a runway. But that's why a baby girl can't do foot modeling. Foot modeling is out the door for me, because long past. But yeah, it's you just suck it up and you do it, right?
So that's why so many models are sitting down with their feet kicked up, because they can't stand from the shoes being that uncomfortable.
You just deal with it. You learn how to like roll with the punches, and that's one of the crazy things that we got to deal with. Yeah.
Well, the important thing is that you don't have to wear uncomfortable shoes anymore.
Nope, no uncomfortable shoes. Now I get shoes that fit.
You're like, you know what? I'm going to get them a half size bigger too, just so I can relax.
I need that little extra room, that comfort room.
A wiggle room. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
With Echo coming out on the 19th, what's the reaction that you hope fans are going to have for shows that are thrillers, you know, psychological ones, and these emotional jumps that we're going to encounter?
I really do think that fans are going to be so surprised. You know, you think the show is going to go in one direction and it takes a complete opposite turn. And so what you think will happen will not. And I feel like the fans are going to be on the edge of their seat. I feel like they're going to be waiting anticipating what's next, and they're not going to have to wait because they're going to be binging it, watching it straight through. So
that's fantastic. Alise Willis, where can we find you on social media if we want to connect with you?
So my Instagram is she is Alise Shante, Shaunte. And my Twitter is Alise Willis 123. I'm not really that active on Twitter, but find me on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram.
Alise Willis, it's been a great pleasure. Stick around for a couple of minutes. I got something to tell you off the record, so we'll just chit chat a little bit. But
Okay.
Echo is coming to Netflix on August 19th. Congratulations on all the success coming your way and on the new series, limited series coming from Netflix. I can't wait to see what you got coming after this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.